you or someone you know is a cancer survivor, you know there's no greater feeling than the one of ringing that bell at the end of treatment. It's actually what led to the implementation of a campaign in Puerto Rico called the Bells Walk. Today, we're hearing from the executive director of the Cancer Comprehensive Center in Puerto Rico to learn more about the campaign.
For a cancer patient, the ultimate goal is ring a bell like this. These bells are part of the new decoration of La Fortaleza Street that symbolizes a win against cancer.
The Cancer Comprehensive Center of Puerto Rico creates the new campaign, The Bells Walk. The walk have 800 bells with color ribbons that represents different types of this disease. These bells ring with the win. Also, there's a banner inviting survivors or their families to ring a bell 3 times. The executive director of the Comprehensive Center explained why the bell has a symbol and the importance of this campaign to send a message of solidarity.
We want to make sure that every patient that has been able to be a survivor, that has been undergoing, the process of having a diagnosis of cancer, once he or she is able to survive, once he or she and their families, it's able to say, I did it, I am a survivor. We want to make noise about it. This all started about maybe 50 years ago when there were a few people that talk about how do we recognize cancer survivors. And, one of the people that started doing this was thinking of having a bell. So whenever someone was able to survive and became a cancer survivor, or he or she finished the chemotherapy or the radiation therapy, then the celebration was not only, I'm very happy, was actually take a bell and ring the bell. So that's what we're trying to say, celebrate life. It's been sponsored by the government of Puerto Rico and all the patients that support what we do. So because of celebration, we decided to use a symbol that was already known in the community. So for patients that are diagnosed with cancer, once you get that diagnosis, it's one of the most difficult days in your life. But one of the best days in the patients once they have this diagnosis, and the best day I would say is once you're told that you're free of disease. So what do? We celebrate.
According to the executive director, last year the demographic registry certified 1,571 deaths in addition to COVID and other types of deaths. The top 5 was cancer, so she realized how important is prevention.
COVID has been terrible for the whole world, right? And it has impacted Puerto Rico dramatically. During the last 2 years of COVID, we had close to 5,000 people that passed away because of COVID. But during that same time, we had over 10,000 people that passed away because of cancer. When you think about the top 5 causes associated with death in Puerto Rico, among the top 5, it was cancer. So despite other diseases, even despite the horrible burden of COVID, cancer doesn't stop. People that develop cancer, that it happens across Puerto Rico every year, over 17,000 new cancer diagnoses in Puerto Rico every single year. So it didn't stop because COVID came. So the message is really that we need to take care of ourselves across all areas. So we do vaccination, we promote prevention of cancer, but we cannot forget that if we simply are dealing with something else, that our body is not going to develop cancer. So our message is not to forget COVID, is to remember cancer prevention.
There are 65,000 cancer survivors in Puerto Rico. The executive director of the Cancer Comprehensive Center emphasized to be tested as an early precaution. Reporting from La Fortaleza Street, Puerto Rico, Frances Felix.
Well, meantime, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley said her heart hurts over the tragic death of a family of 4 in the early hours of Monday morning. Mottley, who was attending a session of the CARICOM heads of government, said her heart goes out to the extended family and asked Barbados to hold them up. Among the dead are 49-year-old contractor Anthony Lovell, his wife, attorney-at-law, 46-year-old Allison Lovell, and their 2 children, 10-year-old Alexander and 12-year-old Abrielle. The 4 were found in one bedroom of their home early Monday morning after what neighbors said sounded like an explosion, followed by a fire. Speaking on the deadly incident from Suriname, Prime Minister Mottley said she awoke to the tragic news of the explosion in the loss of 4 lives.
I really want to say that my heart literally goes out to the extended family, and I'm sure that all Barbadians do, and that we would want to keep the extended family in their prayers. Death of young people and young children at such a tender age in such a tragic way really is not something that we should ever become accustomed to. And to that extent, therefore, I think that all of us across the nation will feel some sense of trauma upon learning of the news this morning. The authorities are in the middle of their investigations, and I anticipate that once that is done, we will have a fuller picture of what really transpired. But at this stage, I think all of us just need to hold up each other and to hold up for the trauma that we feel collectively as a people, but hold up the family, extended family in particular, who must be fully and truly traumatized at the loss of their family. And as I said, I mean, the thought of such young children and young people losing their lives in this tragic way has really hurt my heart.
And that was Prime Minister Mia Mottley speaking there. Well, meantime, areas along the east and west coast of the U.S. mainland are stepping up shark patrols after a number of recent attacks. One incident is going to cost a Florida teenager her leg. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports.
Lifeguards here on Long Island are on the lookout this July 4th for sharks.
That makes you a little nervous, but hopefully it's just normal course when you're going to the beach.
We are increasing our patrols of the waters.
Shark patrols, including drone use, are ramped up across the area after a handful of incidents, including one over the weekend.
We're going out into their world.
A lifeguard further east on the island was attacked during a training exercise where he was ironically playing a victim.
I felt sharp pain. I knew it was some kind of, once I felt the rubbery texture, I knew it was some kind of shark.
Last week, a 9-foot shark grabbed a Florida teenager while she was scalloping.
I tried to push it off of me and punch in its nose, and then it kept trying to drag me under because we were in like 6 feet of water.
She is scheduled for amputation surgery on Tuesday, and a California man nearly bled to death last month in Pacific Grove.
We had to quickly cut his wetsuit off of him and open it all up and then try to, apply the tourniquets.
Experts stress shark attacks are extremely rare. Your chance of being bitten is 1 in 11 million. Still, there are some precautions you can take. Signs like this one on Cape Cod remind swimmers never to go out alone and keep close to shore. Beachgoers can also check out new apps that track shark sightings.
Just, be aware. It's something to definitely be aware of.
A reminder to play it safe this summer.
Now, there were 47 shark bites in 2021. That's up more than 40% from the previous year.